Good morning and welcome to ONIF TV. My name is Illega first. Now, recall this Senator Adeleke, the governorship candidate for the PDP, under the PDP for the Osun State gubernatorial election. Recall that a while ago he was detained. That on the 6th of May, he was actually detained by the police. Initially, and he was called to answer some questions pertaining to him. Then eventually he was detained before he was eventually released. Now the governorship candidate, since the issue is still in court and all of that, he is suing the Inspector General of Police now for his detention. Recall that also the Court of a High Court, Justice Falola, had already said that Adeleke was to not be called by the police for, he wasn't to be detained by the police, and he also was to be allowed to travel on the 7th of May as he was supposed to travel before. That he said he was going for medical checkup in the US. So the judge said that should be allowed to happen. But regardless of that, he was detained in police custody in Abuja on the 6th of May. And now Adeleke is seeking to enforce his fundamental right to personal liberty and right to freedom, because not only was he detained, he was deprived of traveling when he was supposed to, because he was released on the 7th of May. It has come to, the fact that I can actually sue the police is a good thing. It's just I wish everybody could actually do that, and it's also something that when he was detained the other time, it was something we actually talked about, that but this man wasn't supposed to be detained by police. Didn't the judge say this? We talked about that when we heard about his detention by the police, and now he's seeking to enforce his fundamental right, personal liberty, and freedom, rights to freedom. So I guess our take on the issue is that, we hope justice gets served, whatever justice is supposed to look like in that case. And also, it's also key that everybody, regardless of your caliber or your status, so to say, is also very, very important that everybody understands their rights, and what you should take and what you shouldn't take, and what you actually have the right to sue the police for. I mean, if he was detained for a night illegally, and he can detain the police for, he can sue the police, although, it has the fact that a judge actually said that should not happen. So they went, away from that court sentence that, he should not be detained or anything. So that's probably what happened in that case. So we wish them all the best in the case as it goes on. Recall that there are so many pending cases to do with Adeleke currently. The Court of Appeal, upheld the APC governorship candidate Oyetola that was declared by INEC. Recall, Tribunal actually, declared Adeleke as the winner of the Osun State governorship election. Then Court of Appeal said no. Oyetola won the election, and now Adeleke, is appealing. He's taking it to the High Court, and we'll see what the High Court will say. Usually, maybe the High Court is going to contradict any of the rulings. So it's going to uphold the tribunal or uphold, the ruling of the Court of Appeal. So we'll see how that goes. And also know that, there have been a lot of issues concerning Adeleke and his result from Eden Muslim Grammar School. There's been reports that he didn't finish, or his result was faked or was made. His testimonial didn't actually come from the school, and a lot of that. Recall a time ago, the principal came out to say that there was an error in the filing process during his time. That's the year that Adeleke was in school, and that he probably was affected, and it was one of the people affected by the error. A court ruling has also declared that Adeleke's result is fit to contest for whatever post it is he wants to contest. Some civilians in Osun State actually also contested the fact that they wanted Adeleke to actually even stop answering the tag senator, because they said that they were misled, into voting for Adeleke. And Adeleke laughed off the case and said that the judge, that the court had already decided, that he was fit to run and all of that. And that's a summary of what's been going on with Adeleke so far. So we're hoping to first of all see the court ruling, of the High Court concerning the Osun State governorship election, and also to see where the final what the final judgment is going to be concerning the whole certificate scandal that seems to not be going away from this Adeleke tenure. And also we're waiting to see, his outcome, the outcome of the case he filed against the Nigerian police, that's the Inspector General of Police, for detaining him regardless of what the court says. So, would definitely carry you along as all those gists keep coming up. Okay, moving on. The President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Bokar-Chawa, initially the PDP, she's on the panel that is supposed to the tribunal for the presidential election. And recall that PDP actually fought her nomination. They said that she had ties to APC and that they were not, that they didn't believe that she was going to be on that there was going to be a level of her being biased, towards the APC. Because from our findings, we found out that her husband is actually a senator under the PDP, under the APC. Sorry, he was elected, this term, and also her son is contesting for Gombe State governorship under the same APC. So the PDP is saying that she would not represent their interest properly, and that she would, be biased towards the party that she's affiliated with. Which actually, looking at it normally, I mean, her husband is APC, her son is APC, so there's a tendency for the PDP to actually be very uncomfortable with her being on the tribunal, on the panel to decide between the APC and PDP presidential election. So the PDP, after filing their case, the tribunal looked into it, and eventually they said that the head of the panel said that she was fit, regardless of her ties to APC, to actually sit on the tribunal deciding a PDP and APC case, that she's going to be unbiased. And they actually dismissed the petition filed by the PDP. They did that, and after they did that, the justice herself actually said, due to personal reasons, that she would like to be excused from the panel. And the lawyers of the PDP, of the APC, they've come out to say that it's a brave move on her part, that she stepping down is in a way like upholding the justice system, and the fact that actually if APC had won from the tribunal, I'm just saying now, and she remained on that tribunal, PDP could have stood on the fact that this person actually has ties to APC, and the justice system is rigged, is this and all of that. Definitely, whenever one party is not satisfied with a result or something, they're going to find ways to criticize everybody that was involved in that process. But that's just how politics goes in Nigeria. So she stepped down from the tribunal, and they've come out to say, oh wow, well done, good job, well done, that she actually stepped down. And well, that's that basically. But what's your opinion on the fact that, let's say, the tribunal actually said that she was fit regardless of her ties to the APC, and we know that her husband is a senator under the APC, and we also know that her son is contesting for governor of Gombe State under the same APC. So, what's your opinion? Do you think that, regardless of the fact that she stepped down, do you think that she should have actually stayed on the tribunal? Do you think she should have been able to, set personal and professional life aside? That's one thing that they should all be able to do, have no personal feelings whatsoever to a case that you're handling, but do you think that she was actually fit to be on the tribunal in the first place? Would like your comments, your opinions on that, as time goes on. As time goes on, we want to see what you think about that. Now, the Taraba State Governor, has come out to talk on insecurity. He has said that any governor, he said, and I quote, that any governor actually that tells you that I can tackle insecurity in the state is lying, because he said that the governors have no control whatsoever on they don't have any control on the police or army. They don't have control of the military forces, because they answer to the federal government only, And he said that one of the way that they know that it's going to easily solve all the crises or solve majority of the crises, a way to solve those crises in the insecurity in the country actually has to be, the creation of state police. There's been agitation for state police for a while now. Now the state police will be, would be financed and be answerable to the state government. The governors some of the governors have actually said it over time that let's have our own state police, because the federal police is, they don't take orders from us, they take orders from you guys. We don't have no control, we don't have any control over them. So having our own set of, security agencies that would have full control over, would assist in, fighting insecurity in the state. And that's what Taraba State Governor is actually saying, that's the basic way that insecurity can be fought in the state. It will be creation of state police. And what do you think about that statement, that any governor that tells you that he can tackle insecurity in the state is actually lying, because he doesn't have any control over the police? And what's he going to do without the police? What's your opinion on that statement? We should also, note the fact that the governor of Osun State, Oyetola, he has come out to say a couple of times to say that landlords will be held liable for, anybody that they accept into their house, a tenant, that he's found, terrorizing or doing stuff that can be tagged as insecurity. He also said that the citizens of Osun State should be cautious of the people that they welcome into their neighborhood. When he talked about the mass movement of people, those illegal miners, to Osun State, because that as they were being chased out of other states, that they were moving down to Osun State. He also said that there would be registration for minors. He said that they would start registering minors so that they will have his sort of legal body, and that it will be, if there's a registration process for them, it will be easy to differentiate the guys that are illegal and the guys that are legal. I think that's actually a way that insecurity can be tackled. He might not have control over the police force, of the state, but the fact that he's actually coming out to say, you guys should do this, you guys should do that, the fact that there'll be registration of minors, it's going to make the work actually easier for the police guys, because when you want to bust the mining gang, so to say, there has to be a registration, a sort of identification to say, I'm doing this legally, and then the people that are not legal about what they are doing, they can be arrested. So while waiting for the state police, to be created, I think there are other measures that can be taken by the state governors to actually fight insecurity in their various places. If you have to, create awareness, you can do that. If you have to even go to the, to the level of including self-defense classes as part of your state curriculum, you can do that. And I think I just think that saying that state police is the only way to tackle insecurity might be saying that I'm not going to do anything unless you guys, unless there's a state police in place. But that's my opinion actually. So I'd like to know what you think, your opinions about that. That basically about the creation of state police, and the fact that there might be other things that the governors can be doing, to ensure security. before maybe a state police is created, or maybe something is actually done so that the state governors could probably have control, sort of control over the police force in their states. So, and as time goes on, whether the state police is created eventually or not, or maybe whatever happens in security, in the security sector of Nigeria would keep getting to you about it. Thank you for watching today. My name is Illega. Please keep watching ONIF TV. Thank you.